So, I can't actually believe I get to make this video right now, but vibe creating is finally upon us. I can now create and edit videos from what we tell it to do, and the results have been absolutely insane. One of the AI media companies called Remotion posted this video on Twitter talking about how they released an AI agent skill that turns natural language into beautiful video animations. And this went mega viral. The video that you're seeing right here racked up 12 million views. And after seeing this video, I went down an absolute rabbit hole building an agentic video editor for the past 4 days when I had free time. I can safely say that this editor that I'm going to show you guys today is better than the billion-dollar video editors like CapCut and Adobe Premiere Pro. But the reason why it's so exciting for people like creative directors is that every single AI workflow that I've shown you on this channel, for example, can now be integrated into one smart editing platform. And the goal of the video today is to show you exactly how I've built this so that you guys can start vibe creating yourselves with this insane new era of video creation. So today's overview is going to be jam-packed. I'm going to show you guys how AI agents make and edit videos. We're going to go through all of the capabilities. I'm going to go through the 3 AI agents that I built for the editor app because each one of these AI agents have their own skill set when editing videos. And then I'm going to finish off the video actually showing you guys a full demo of the video editor that I built. And the full code base of that editor is going to be in my school academy, Kev's No Code Academy. So the way that I'm going to break down the tech stack is I'm just going to quickly overview all of the skills and how the actual app works. And then we're going to go in a deep dive of each one of these tools, and we're going to break down the capabilities that each one of these tools gives our editing agents. But at the high level, this is all we really need to build insane movies. So we have Remotion, we have FFmpeg, and we have the media tools. And all of these tools are going to be converted into skills so that when we prompt our editor agent, it actually knows exactly what to do when we ask it to make an edit or create a new video, so on and so forth. So what is Remotion? Simply put, Remotion is a video animator that uses React code components. So a user will send in a prompt, and then the AI model will process what the user actually wants, convert it into a JSON scene, and then it's going to send it to Remotion to actually render that scene into a video. Then you, as the user, can keep doing this loop, iterating or editing the animation that you've created. It's not a linear timeline. You can actually just keep editing videos just by prompting, which actually feels like magic. Now, Remotion is an absolute rabbit hole, and there's a whole bunch of packages and skills that we can give to our coding agents, and in this case, our editing agents. So the first part is the core Remotion package. This allows us to do hooks. It creates animations, we can use utilities, we can have components. So the animation functions are just skills that our agent can use to actually create dynamic camera movements, create physics-based editing like bouncing or damping or like ease curves, so speeding up or slowing down videos when doing transitions. Now, the utilities is where the real power in the first package is because we can use the folders on our computer as reference files when we're making animations. Let's say I wanted to use the Creator OS logo in the bottom left-hand side. Well, that's just a file on the computer. And so within a prompt, I can tell the agent to go and get that file and use it in animation. On top of that, when you guys see the video editor that I built, there's already going to be videos that we have inside of the video editor, and the get input props allows us to pass these files to the editing agent to actually use the files that we've already created. But in a nutshell, I put this all here for you guys to learn. If you want to actually understand all of these tools and all of these skills, just pause the screen and study them. But the way that the flow works is that a user will send in a prompt, and then the AI agent will create a scene. But after it creates the scene, it actually needs to use these tools, which is going to exist inside of its skill set. So inside of its skill set, for example, in this workflow, it can create shapes, it can create emojis, it can create GIFs, it can do animations, it can create 3D shapes. It depends on what the user is saying. But then, when that video is created, it uses another dependency called the Remotion renderer to actually render the full video, and then the video is added to the timeline, literally like magic. Cool. Now, the second part of the Remotion skills is actually where the real source lies, because these are all individual additional packages that we could add into our editing agent. So the first one is the Remotion Lahi. Now this creates Lahi animations, which is like, pixels on a screen, or like shooting star effects, or like shape effects that are animated, stuff like that. Then we have the animated emojis. So we can use the animated Apple emojis, for example, and embed them into the timeline based on the transcript that the person is talking about. So if I was making a video, for example, it can grab my transcript, understand what I'm talking about, and then insert emojis throughout the video based on what I'm saying. It does the same thing with GIF support. And the cool thing about GIF support is that we've implemented the GYAPI, which allows us to find the most trending memes and add those trending memes directly into the timeline again just by prompting. It also has 3D support, so we can add 3D animations, 3D renders. We can turn images into 3D. We can do motion blur for fast and moving elements. We could do re-ocean transitions, so like a wipe transition effect, a clock transition effect, stuff like that. And we can preload assets. Now, this is very important because if we're editing a video inside of a timeline, we need to be able to pass the video to our re-ocean editor. And that's how we do this with the preload, and you guys will see that in the demo at the end of the video. So that is the Remotion tool that is built inside of the video editor. Let's move forward. So the next tool is the Swiss Army knife of video, which is FFmpeg. Now this is a command line tool which helps us process any type of video, audio, or media files. So the way that this flow works is very similar to the re-ocean flow, because what our director agent does is it understands what the user is actually saying in the prompt, and then decides which tool to use in its workflow. So with FFmpeg, these are the agent skills that we have built into our coding editor. It can transcode videos, so converting, MP4 to WebEM, or converting a MP4 into a GIF. It can trim and cut videos. For example, if there's a lot of dead air within a video, it can just go in there, find the dead air, and then cut those elements outside of the timeline. So that saves me like at least 30 minutes when I'm trying to trim the audio. You could add color effects or color corrections, and you can also add speed changes. You can extract audio from video, you can extract frames from videos, and you can turn those into images. You can compress the file size, and you can add watermark position. So if I wanted to add an image to my edit, I can literally just say in a prompt where to add that image and for how long, and it'll go ahead and it'll do that. So the next tool we want to talk about is Whisper. Whisper is OpenAI's speech to text, which does an AI transcription, but the most important thing that it does is it does word timestamps. Now, word level timestamps is literally how long does the person say the word in the video. So in this example that I show you guys here, it says, "Welcome to my tutorial." The word welcome lasts from 0 seconds to 0.4 seconds. And when we pass this output information to our coding editors, it's able to create captions that match up exactly with the time that the words are being said, for example. This is used for a lot of different use cases, but the best one is the captions use case. Now, Whisper also runs locally and is completely free, just like basically all the tools that I've shown you so far. Now, this is what no one has been showing you yet, right? And this is what I'm so excited about, because with a tool like Fowl AI, we're able to essentially use an AI model marketplace, which gives us access to the cutting-edge generative AI models for image, video, and audio. So the way that I use Fowl AI for my video editor is that I'm finding the winning endpoints that I want to use. An example of this would be like a video background remover, and then I teach Claude Code or anti-gravity to turn it into a skill, and then I test the skill via a prompt. So some examples of some Fowl AI skills that we've generated is the image to video, which just simply can, turn an image into an animated video, and then we can add that video into the timeline. We could do video to video. So if I wanted to change the setting that I'm in, if I wanted to change myself into a different influencer, if I wanted to add elements to the scene, this is how we would do that. We have the background remover that I talked about earlier, and we could add sound effects. Now, these are just 4 examples because FAI's capabilities are very extensive, so we can add a billion different skills to the workflow, but in my opinion, these are the first, foundational Fowl AI skills that we should be giving our video editors access to. So now I want to explain the 3 AI agent editing team. So we have the director, we have Picasso, and we have DiCaprio. So the director handles all of the editing logic. So make some cuts where there's dead air, add some captions, make an animation based on the transcript, stuff like that. Picasso will be creating static visuals using Nano Banana or any other cutting-edge image model, and DiCaprio is the video model. So DiCaprio can transform media types, can make media edits, can use video models to create new generations. And the reason why I've done it in this way is that we don't want something called context rot. We don't want the director agent to have access to too many skills that it gets overwhelmed. And so we've split up the workflow that the director originally had into 3 AI agents that all complement each other when we're working on a video edit. So now, guys, I'm going to walk you through the full app demo of what I'm calling Hyper Edit. And the entire code base is going to be given to you guys. And in the next video, I'm actually going to be building it from scratch to show you guys exactly how everything works. But for this video, I just want to show you a quick demo tutorial, just showing you guys how insane this is. So what we have on the screen is something called the FFmpeg server. This is what's actually going to be running all of this stuff locally. And this is the cursor environment. And here we have the front end for HyperEdit. So what I'm going to do is go through a video edit from a raw video that I filmed for one of my older YouTube videos. So I'm going to go into the files and we're going to go into Ecamm and we're going to find a random file. All right, so we have our first video added to the timeline. Now, this video is just a simple introduction that I did for one of my YouTube videos, but this specific video, for example, is completely unedited. So there's a lot of dead air, for example. So the first edit that we want to do is remove all of the dead air. So the video is sitting at 3 minutes and 54 seconds. We're going to use the director for this workflow, and we're going to go and click Remove Dead Air in Silence, and we're going to send that in. Now, in the console logs, we can see the FFmpeg server actually spin up. So we can see here that it says the video duration, and then it went ahead and decided which amount of time is actually the dead air time, which is 53% of the video, 124 seconds. So then the agent goes, I'm now going to extract those segments and delete them, so now we're just going to give it some time. It's going to go ahead and create that full edit. And so for this workflow, it's using Whisper to transcribe and FFmpeg to make the edits. And there we go. And we can see immediately the edit has been created and added to the timeline. So it went from 3 minutes and 54 seconds to 1 minute and 50. And now we can play it back, and we can see that there is now no dead air within the video. So that was the first edit. Now typically we want to add some captions. So now that'll be the next thing that we do. We'll click Add Captions. We added a little feature where we can choose the font styles, which we pulled from Google Fonts, and the highlight color. So what this does is it creates like a running fox animation. So if I go create captions, you guys are going to see how quick this type of edit actually gets made. We see on the left-hand side, it's going through the Whisper transcription, and then boom, it's just been immediately added to the editor. And now we can see it's also timed up perfectly with what I'm saying. And we also added a T1 timeline so that we can get rid of any elements that we want as captions, or add any elements as we want, or edit them, so on and so forth. So that so far is 2 edits. Now let's keep going. Let's do a video animation using Remotion. I want to show you the next tool, which is this timer tool. This allows us to select a specific part of the video and then use that part of the video in the prompt. So now what we're going to be working on is a Reocean animation that says, watch this part of the video and make an animation for it. So I've sent in the prompt. It's now running the local Whisper to just get the transcription, and then it's going to go ahead and create a plan. So now the agent has gone ahead and figured out what part of the video we were talking about, and it proposed a couple of scenes. I'm now going to go ahead and approve the render. Now left-hand side is going to go ahead and actually create the render. We could see Votion actually starting up, and it's going to create 180 different frames inside of this scene that we are building. So we're going to give that a sec and let it cook it up. Okay, and there we go. So the full edit has been made, and it's been added to the V2 timeline at the 5-second point, which is just freaking nuts. Feels like magic, guys. Like, this is ridiculous. So now let's just see what it created for us. So a little AI automation banner, and then basically what I'm talking about in the video, which is converting AI automations into skills. So building AI automations and turning them into skills. So the next thing I want to show you guys is how we can grab this animation and we can continue to edit upon it using the chat. So what we've built in is a multi-edit type of framework. So we have the main timeline, but what we're going to do now is open up a brand new timeline. This is going to allow me to then drag in that animated clip, and now we can actually prompt the agent to edit this, right? So what would I want to edit about this? Well, we could see in the second part that it says N8N as N8 as N, which is completely wrong. So we're going to tell the agent to fix that text. I'm going to say like fix the text in the animation that says N8N with N8N, and we'll send that in. And the agent already has the context of the video, and it knows that it was a Reocean edit. So it knows that it's going to be able to do that. Okay, so agent then goes, the edit has been added to the animation. So if we play the animation now, we could see that the building AI automations portion of this scene now actually writes the words properly, and I can just keep editing this as much as I want. And I can also add in elements. So I showed you guys the timer, which added this clip to the correct part of the timeline, but now we can also add actual elements. Alright guys, so after playing around with the animation a little bit more with a few more prompts, we were able to integrate a GIF that just didn't exist. The agent just found a GIF that it thought was good and added it to the video, and then it added our logo as well as some stat animations. So after literally like a couple of minutes of prompting, like this is the full animation that we can use for our introduction, and there we use the GIF. Here we have our logo and the 150 AI operating systems. And so this can just directly be added right inside of the timeline, which it already is, right? Which is pretty awesome. So that is essentially how the Remotion tool inside of this video editor works, and you could just keep spinning these up all with just this director agent that you can be prompting. Alright, so I showed you all of the main features on the director, and I'm constantly adding tools to this because I'm using it myself, and I might turn it into an actual SaaS. So when you guys fork the project, you'll have all of those features. Now I want to quickly show you the DiCaprio agent and a couple of the abilities that this agent has. And then I'm going to explain to finish off this video how to actually build this app for the consumer. So how we can build things inside of this app that consumers will find very valuable. So the first thing I want to show you guys is with the DiCaprio agent, how we can turn an image to a video and then do additional edits with the DiCaprio agent. So in the plus tab here, I'm going to add in the Creator OS logo, and I'm just going to say animate this logo, please. Now, on the left-hand side, the DiCaprio agent gets the request to use the Foul AI endpoint, and then it created an enhanced prompt as well. So it grabbed what we wanted to do, and then it just enhanced it. Okay, sweet. So agent then goes, or DiCaprio then goes, your animated video is ready. And within the chat, we can review the video. So that's a really nice, like, animated Creator OS logo transitioning between colors, kind of rotating a little bit. So that's great. Now, let's say I didn't want the background, right? So we can now use that element, which is this new video element in our next prompt. So I'm going to go grab that video. We're going to add it into the chat. And this time, we're going to try and get rid of the video background, and we're going to send that in. All right. And just like that, the background remover of that GIF animation has been completed. And then I can just add that to the timeline. And it's also been added to the assets. So now that I ran you guys through the HyperEdit tool that I built, I want to explain the ways that I'm going to make it really valuable for consumers, and the ways that you guys should as well. And that is by creating skills as templates, right? Because in social media marketing, especially social media organic marketing, there's a lot of trends. There's a lot of things that are happening in real time that people are creating content about. Like TikTok carousels were a big trend. Using trending sounds for certain types of videos are very important. Creating certain types of edits, like, like a split screen edit with a talking head, and then the thing that the talking head's talking about. All of these different types of edits can actually turn into templates that the user can just click, and then it just does it for them on their behalf. And this will speed up the process at which people create videos. But also for the non-technical video editors, even like myself, I'm going to be able to create workflows that were never once possible just by using the prompt, right? So if I'm creating this type of editor, SaaS, that I want to sell to people, this is what I'm going to be having in mind. Now for long-form YouTube videos, the same thing applies. So like if I film a 30-minute YouTube video, you know how magical it would be if within one prompt I could just create B-roll animations for the entire duration, talking 30 minutes of video animations. And then like another prompt that adds amazing sound design. So adding like cool sound effects, adding cool music, adding all of these elements that a traditional video editor would be doing manually. And if we can get to that point, then the video editor SaaS that we're building here is going to be incredibly powerful. And it allows us to compete with the biggest editing companies in the world like CapCut and the Adobe Studio. This was probably the most fun I've had building with AI in a long time because it just literally feels like magic, and I'm just adding more and more features and functionalities to this application. but in the next video, we're actually just going to be building this together. So, hope you guys enjoyed.